play another song in a slightly altered tune. Oh, so that tuning, by the way, in case for those keeping score at home, what they call Siwahini tuning means the A string is tuned down to G, and the E string is tuned down to C.
So why is it called Siwahini?
I should have told you that.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? Good thinking. There are dozens of slack key tunes, getting back to a little bit of the slack key tunings. Mostly, and they even grew up kind of by families. Like each family would just tune the guitar any way they wanted, and they would sort of pass it down to their kids. And in the early days, you could tell, what part of what island somebody was from by how they tuned their guitar. And the main tunings, many of the tunings were like an open chord. You tune it to an open G chord or open C chord, and those were called kane tunings. Kane is just the name for man or male in Hawaiian. And those were considered solid and simple. And then they had tunings that... and wahine, as you may have figured out, is the female side of the musical spectrum. Well, of just the whole gender spectrum in Hawaiian. And so they figured that was a little gentler, prettier tuning and a little more complex. So hence the wahine tunings usually are not tuned to an open chord, they're tuned to an open major 7th chord or major 9th chord, a chord that is a little more colorful. So, which leads me to this tuning, which is called Drop to D. And I'm not quite sure. Yeah, a dead tuning. This is the last song I know, I think, in an odd tuning. I've made it a habit to not usually play in weird tunings for exactly this reason, because it just means you have to fill with a lot of chatter. Not that I don't like doing that, but still. This is a song wrote a little over a year ago called Cobble Creek, and it was it sort of materialized not in a creek, but in a vineyard. I assume there was a creek running through the vineyard, and I was actually looking at the stars while I was in the vineyard, so it really doesn't have anything to do with the creek, but it does have this sort of... Well, I don't know if there really is a creek in this vineyard.
But there was certainly wine by the sound.
There was, yeah. And actually there was a band playing that night, the Cache Valley Drifters. Cache Valley Drifters were playing at the Castora Winery in Templeton last fall, and I dragged my 12-year-old at the time son up there to listen to my friend Mike's band play bluegrass music in the middle of this beautiful winery, and we walked out after the show, and we hung around and talked to my friend Mike, who had played in the band, so we chatted for way too long, and all of a sudden there was Corey and me and Mike and somebody from the winery wondering, if we had a ticket to spend the night, and so. Once we realized that we were supposed to leave, I walked outside and I started thinking, okay, it's dark out here. My car's in this vineyard somewhere, and I wasn't really sure where. So we wandered around aimlessly in the dark trying to find our car. This was without the benefit of actually tasting any of the wine there they had that night. This you wouldn't know it from the story. In either case, we finally found the car, and then we had trouble finding the keys and all kinds of other things. But while I was standing there at the car, I managed to look up, and Templeton is a bit off, and the Castora Winery is quite a ways off the freeway, and sort of between Highway 101 and the coast, and just south of Paso Robles. And they had a lot more stars down there than we do around here. I forgot about that when I looked up and just about fell over. So I sat there and looked at the stars for a little while, and a few days later, the song sort of materialized, and it reminded me of like running small little creeks running through vineyards and lots of stars and things like that. So at the time I don't know if I was working on this or not, but this might have been the song that made me decide it was time to make another album. And so the most recent album I finished is called Cobble Creek. I thought it'd be really nice to take a picture of Cobble Creek. I have a picture of Ross Creek on the album cover because it was like right around the corner from my house. Don't tell anybody it's not Cobble Creek. But the song is Cobble Creek. I don't get it. I should just play the songs. I shouldn't tell you so much about them. I know you came here to hear music.
Bring off your meds again.
Okay. So did I tell you about Cobble Creek? I want to play a song called Cobble Creek. We're doing this on the back of a cereal box.